Hi! Yes, everyone's favourite impractical technology, uBeam, is back in the news because, well, it looks like they're finally coming a gutser, but not without some last-minute hilarity. So let's take a look at it. They've been in the news for several reasons. One is that definitely check out Paul Reynolds' blog. Paul Reynolds, if you don't know, is he writes the Lies, Damn Lies and Startup PR blog. Awesome. You should subscribe to this. How do you subscribe? One of those newfangled RSS things. Former Chief Technical Officer, CTO of uBeam, and uBeam have apparently laid off around half their employees. So yeah, oh look, we've got some transducer technology down here. So anyway, it's a very lengthy article. Highly recommend you take a look. And by the way, Paul's also on Twitter, so you should follow him over there. And I'm also on Twitter as well. You should follow me on Twitter because I tweet like a boss. Anyway, I always tweet. Look, I just found this network switch in the dumpster. Oh, look at it. Oh, the latest teardown video, spoiler alert. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. Anyway, uBeam have a new funky looking website. Look at this. Always on wireless energy through ultrasound. Ultra safe. You'll see this safe thing mentioned over and over again. Ultra simple ultrasound technology. Now long range wireless power reliably and safely are always on. We'll get into the long-range part of it shortly. uBeam's proprietary transducers, transmitters, receivers, and software deliver wire-free power at a distance of meters to units ranging from Internet of Things devices, medical and aerospace systems, to portable electronics products, a turnkey hardware and software solution. Turnkey! They've now magically just got a turnkey solution. You can just... Because if you don't know, like, did we cover this? No, I think Paul definitely covered it on his blog that uBeam, they sacked, of course, their CEO, Meredith Perry. They booted her ass out the door and they replaced her with the Chief Financial Officer, the CFO. What high-tech startup-y type company has a Chief Financial Officer promoted to CEO? uBeam, of course. Anyway, then they finally got someone decent in as CEO to steer the Titanic until it sinks, and that's what it's looked like happening now with, sacking half the company. They just ran out of money. Well, they couldn't raise any more money, going through a huge cash burn rate. All the details are sort of in here, speculation of what's, the reasons behind it, but it's almost certainly that they're simply just running out of cash. They can't raise any more. The investors don't want to give them any more. I think there is still money, promised to them, but they're being held back, and I don't think they're dumb enough to give them any more money. Anyway, so they've got to be frugal, and yeah, looks like everyone, including the Chief Financial Officer, is now gone. You can go check up her profile on Twitter. I won't bore you with the details. But anyway, let's take a look at the website. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at their new transmitter they've got here. Look at this. It's super small. If you actually go to uBeam's Twitter page, I've had to log out here in a different browser because they've blocked me. I wonder why. Anyway, you can see the history of their their transmitters over here. Here we go. January 2018. It was this enormous thing here, probably taken hundreds of watts input, a kilowatt or something, because it's not very efficient. Anyway, and then they've shrunk that down in March 2018. Good on them. And now it looks like they've got it down to what looks like this thing here. So that's their new transmitter, which I think they give away with their, if you join their partner thing and you want to team up with them, because they don't sell products anymore. uBeam obviously completely given up on the dream of selling any sort of product, especially to charge your phone, as we'll get into. So yeah, they're looking for B2B or business to business customers now. That's where they've pivoted to. They should have pivoted to that. How long's you been going? 7, almost 8 years or something? They should have pivoted to that like 6 years ago. A year into it could have told you that this thing just, charging your mobile phone just was a ridiculous idea. Anyway, so they shrunk that down. Whether or not they're getting the same output power from that, or physically smaller arrays that's still 145 dB output power? We don't know. But with the transition to the Internet of Things stuff, it may just be a physically smaller transmitter because they've realized it's not very efficient and we can't transfer, watts, tens of watts, hundreds of watts, thousands of watts that they were promising previously on their website, where, they'd power large flat screen TVs that take hundreds of watts. They'd be powering everything. Unbelievable. Anyway, so they've got this new small transmitter. Look at this, smart agriculture. Yeah, we'll get into the distance thing, but yeah, if you've got a big sort of, greenhousey type thing, as we'll see in the power figures shortly, for per distance, which the CEO has just published, thank you very much, that you're not going to get more than a couple of meters, and then, even then you're looking at tens of milliwatts to power little sensors. It's just silly. So, anyway, so industrial, look at this, industrial Internet of Things. Look at all these things that you can be powered, wow, in the factory. Fantastic. Smart, even though already, you've got power running all along the walls here and everything else. But no. Use uBeam, sure. Where's it go? Oh yeah, there we go. They've got the transmitters up on the roof. There you go. So brilliant. Smart living, of course. Look, it can power sensors up on the wall. It can. Is that there? No, that's not there. That's a one of those stupid nesty things. We've got a thermostat controller. It can power your iPad. Yeah, sure. Consumer electronics. Look, there's still it can power your laptop. There's still tablets and everything else all at once. One transmitter, sure, is just going to be able to handle all of these devices on the bench. Yeah. Aerospace, look at this. You put one of the uBeam things inside a jet engine. That's where you need it, because you want to transmit it from one side of the fairing to the other and get power of a little sensor on the other side of the fairing. You want the super awesome reliable uBeam technology inside a jet engine. Yeah, sure. Oh, and the wheels, look, wheel sensors. You can have a little uBeam transmitter on the bottom of the plane, and it could beam the the power down to the wheels as they come on. Automotive, because you want to use it inside a car. And medical, look at this. You can power everything in your medical suite using just pump out 145 dB of ultrasound everywhere, all over your operating theatre. That's what you want. No wuckers. All right, how uBeam works. uBeam's proprietary transmitter. We've seen the ASIC before, the beamforming algorithms, the computer vision optional tracking. As you'll see, this transmitter that they've actually got up here, I don't believe this does any tracking whatsoever. We'll see this in the video in a minute. It's purely, they've demoed this before theater here, the demo summit or whatever. Oh yeah, there it is. There's an early version of it. There you go. It didn't have the extra things on the top. Looks very similar. You can see that it is not tracking. It has no phased array tracking at all. But their bigger one over here, which didn't work at first, and then it eventually did. That one has the vision tracking with the silly little white square on the back of the little doodad there. You might have been able to see that. And it just visually tracks that, and it's just silly. Of course, in the previous video I've done debunking this thing, of course, it's of no practice. There it is, the little white tracking window on there, and of course that's absolutely no use whatsoever, because, well, you got your mobile phone, you have to sit it face down, and you can't use it when it's... Let's just not go there. It's ridiculous. I've already debunked it. And here it is. It's so safe. The safety of sound. Yeah, because they've probably realized that you can't pump out 145 dB. So I reckon the new transmitter's not doing that. I reckon it's doing it at a lower level for this Internet of Things stuff that they've pivoted to. Anyway, they've got a new video. Do you want to see it? Of course you do.
Welcome to a world powered by uBeam ultrasonic wireless energy, where safe and reliable contact-free wireless power can keep your
Look at this, right? The guy that, they're still implying that you can charge your mobile phone. It doesn't even have their ridiculous, big brick. Yeah, it doesn't even have this ridiculous big brick thing on the back of it. And, right? Doesn't even have that. And and of course, your hand would be, even if you had it on the back there, your hand would be covering the damn thing. I've done this in the debunking video. It's ridiculous. And you're turning your head all the time. And it's just, oh, anyway, they're still implying that you can do your mobile phone and you can do the monitor. The monitor. It only takes 20 watts, 30 watts for a monitor or more. Unbelievable.
Electronic devices running. No wires, no battery changes in any application. Industrial.
Any application. It's that good. It's that universal. Remember, it's $1 trillion idea. Is it Mark Cuban or whoever said, oh yeah, it's $1 trillion idea. Absolutely. Look at this. A forklift. What on earth? What is it? Who comes up with this crap, right? And what, they got a transmitter on the roof, or you're powering something on the roof? All this industrial machinery here. What is this, some sort of CNC lathe or... This is ridiculous.
IoT networks. Smart living.
Oh, she looks happy. Look at the baby. Oh yeah, look, the blender over here. Power your blender with uBeam. Yeah, they're only 1,000 watts or 500 watts or something for a blender. No wuckers. And what is it, lights up here? I don't know, the range hood. Look at that. You've got the lamps in your range hood. Wow, yeah, and the sensor up on your wall here. Comes up with this stuff.
Consumer electronics.
And look at this. And this is just ridiculous, as if they're going to power all these things and the phone is face upwards. You can't use it when it's face upwards. Where are they going to put the transmitters, the receivers? In the keyboards of these notebooks? As we get into, you can't even get the power out of the thing. It's ridiculous.
Smart agriculture.
Agriculture, yeah, because, that's only 10, 20, 30 meters away, 50 meters away from the transmitters. Yeah, it's going to work a treat. You're lucky if you get microwatts out of it at that distance.
Aerospace.
There's the jet engine again.
Medical.
All the medical stuff.
Automotive.
Oh, yeah, because, you definitely want it in your car, in the entertainment, navigation consoles and stuff that are already in there and hardwired into the car. That's where you need to power your ultrasound. Just have it up above you in the car, and then you can just beams everything down. Sure.
Wherever you need to keep critical
Nest
devices
sensor.
charged and always on. uBeam.
Can you imagine? The Nest is so bad. Can you imagine combining a Nest? I don't know if this is an actual Nest, but imagine combining the boondoggle that is the Nest sensor with uBeam technology. It's a match made in heaven.
On uBeam's turnkey hardware and software solutions give you software solutions and software's turnkey hardware.
This receiver works with these LEDs. Apparently the LEDs are just directly connected across the ultrasonic sensor. So if it receives enough energy, it powers the LED, right? I believe there's directly. I don't think there's any active circuitry inside this thing. In fact, they implied as much in the demo. Look, you can see that this thing is moving, yet the LEDs aren't really moving much in there. Look, what are all these dead spots and things like it's not even and it's pointing up. If you look at the angle, maybe there's some parallax, the angle they've filmed it at, but it moves, and the LED
hardware and software
really
solutions
move with it.
Give you the ability to keep network sensors and devices running, harvest and learn from the data, build a more robust and powerful
look
platform.
Look at all this factory equipment you can power.
All without using radio frequency waves, infrared lasers, or electromagnetic interference.
Infrared lasers, yeah. With the infrared lasers there, that's the WeCharge that I've also, I haven't really debunked that. That does work, but it's once again, it's impractical. uBeam works, in quote marks. It's just impractical.
Interference of any kind. The ultrasound waves bounce right off the body. uBeam is safe for you and everyone around you.
She looks happy. Look,
ultra safe, ultra simple,
she's happy.
ultrasound.
It's safe. They look really happy and
you
safe.
And everyone around you.
Let's use uBeam.
Ultra safe. Ultra simple, ultrasound technology, frequency waves,
Who do they target this crap to? Obviously, they've pivoted towards B2B customers. That's a fact. And as if any company Any technology company looking for a wireless charging solution like this is going to go look at uBeam and go, oh yeah, look at it, watch this video and go, oh, I'm sold. Yeah, we need to partner with them because we can integrate it into all of our products. It'll just be magical. It's unbelievable. Like, what? No wonder they haven't announced, and they're not going to get any customers taking this seriously. Somebody's probably just sitting in the background who might need this for some really niche technology, and there is still some niche value in this for niche applications, maybe, ultra low power Internet of Things sensors that you have a direct transmitter at it because it's the best solution. You might need it over 2 or 3 meters or something like that. You might need, like a few little tens of milliwatts or something like that. And it may, and you don't care about the efficiency, it may. But, there's got to be niche applications for it, but it's definitely not going to make them any money. So there's probably some supplier or manufacturer or whatever just sitting back going, uBeam are going to go under. They're going to go, I'm just going to pick this up for pennies on the dollar. They're just not going to buy. Why license the technology now when you can pick it up in 6 months' time when they go bust? You'll be able to pick up the IP for a song.
Automotive. To power your wireless world.
Your wireless world. Fantastic. I'm sold. Thank you very much, uBeam. 125 issued patents and applications. Unlimited potential if you partner up with uBeam. Always on wireless energy. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, there's more. There's more because the CEO, this is actually old. This happened back in April. The CEO presented at this summit thing, and it's got some interesting stuff in the video. So let's have a look. This guy does know his stuff, but he's obviously been handed the empty bag, He's doing his best.
So I love this this meme that somebody hacked of the basic human needs, which, is basically
battery life, Wi-Fi.
Because we walk around with our Bitcoin to mean connectivity to the internet. It's useless. So what we really need to do is solve the second half of the problem, which is always on wireless energy. Without wires, without battery,
sounds exhausted.
Without having to worry about charging or changing batteries.
He's so enthusiastic. I don't know if it's he's not very good at public speaking or whatever, or he just knows he's been handed the soggy bag of technology and he's just trying his best. I feel sorry for him. He's trying his best, but he's just, it's like, I've got to try and flog this technology to someone, and that's what I've been put as CEO for, to just find a buyer for this turd. And it's just, poor guy. Feel sorry for him. Anyway, he came from Energous, which is, of course, I haven't done a video on Energous, but Paul Reynolds has done heaps of videos on Energous, and it's basically a scam. It's floated on the stock market. It's basically a competitor. RF technology to wireless charging, a competitor to uBeam, and well, yeah, that's just anyway. He comes from there, so went from one sinking ship to another. I'd be putting short options on Energous, let's just say that. So they're just like projecting what the market's going to be for wireless energy opportunities, and they think they've got a chance with their impractical technology. They've got some chance in some niche application, but as I said, somebody will just buy it for pennies on the dollar in 6 months when the money eventually runs out. And once again, they're just targeting, not phones, not really consumer anymore. They're targeting Internet of Things and warehouses and also agriculture and all that sort of wanky stuff. But anyway, there's some interesting stuff in this video. Now, this is interesting. They've got their own sensor transducer technology, which is very Murata off the shelf but we've seen various incarnations of their possible sensors. We saw a photo back there as well with the perforated hole around the outside of what looks like a focusing array or a focusing cone on the top or something like that. And they've got this interesting transducer like heat map, energy heat map by the looks of it. Now, I won't go into the details here because Paul's already done things here. Well, there's the sensor tech. Yeah, here he talks about the heat mapping. Of course, he's the former CTO. He knows what he's talking about. So he goes into some detail about the technical, tries to analyze it all. So I won't go through that that. Again, you can read that for yourself. I highly recommend you do. And here they've got the delivered power at a distance. And here you go. uBeam technology can deliver watts up to 1 meters. In fact, we'll see the next slide contradicts this slide. Because they can't do watts past a meter. So, yeah, we can't even do watts at a meter. So, this is hundreds of milliwatts from 1 to 2 meters and 10 milliwatts beyond 2 meters, I think that might say down here. And they've got this interesting focused power here, distance. And Paul shows in his blog, he actually, from the array size, he actually calculates the focus, and they say it's at 2 meters here, but he calculates the focus point based on the dimensions and everything else at 1.2 meters. And that's actually about where the energy, so I think Paul's spot on, that's about where the hotspot energy is. It's not at 2 meters. So I don't know whether or not that's real data, whether it's just simulated data. We just don't know. Anyway, silly. And they don't have any side lobes, grating lobes or anything like that, which is kind of weird. But anyway, Paul goes into all that detail in his blog. So if you're interested in the technical details of that. Now, here's the money shot. Here is the money shot. They've never released their efficiency figures. This doesn't include efficiency, but this is usable power on the y-axis here versus distance. And look, here's the uBeam ultrasound technology in the blue here. This is the current generation, and this is the uBeam ultrasound next generation, which their employees who are no longer with them are going to work on. So yeah, oops, there will be no next generation uBeam. And as if they can suddenly double the efficiency or more of it. Come on, give me a break. Anyway, look, currently, I love how they've put these big ellipses in here to sort of like pad it out and make it look like it's sort of better than what it is. You can actually draw to get the real figure, which will be a best case figure, because they always do best case in these sorts of scenarios, is to draw a straight line from there, from the tip down to this tip down here. So a straight line through there like that is what you'll realistically get best case, because there's no way they're going to leave their best case off the table. And look at this, 1 watt, right, which is nowhere near even the 500 milliamp charging current of the old school phones at 2.5 watts up here at 5 volts. Like, it's just nowhere near it. And that's at like, what, 15 to 20 centimeters? Like this far away, they can't even pump out 1 watt, like can't even barely do 1 watt there. They could actually deliver, I'm sure they could deliver more power. Do that. You just pump more power in, but there's air saturation and things like that. But I'm sure they could if they pumped enough energy in, but they probably realized, well, they can't do that because there's various requirements and safety standards for, like, they can't pump out the 145 dB they claimed before. So this new transmitter they got may actually pump out a lot less than that, and that's why they're only getting the 1 watt here. But they won't tell you the efficiency. The efficiency is going to be horrible. Paul actually says it could be as high as like 30% the efficiency, and that's possible, but he doesn't think it's that high, but he sort of calculates that based on the numbers, but he still doesn't believe it. So yeah, it's going to be much worse. And as it drops off with the distance, it's going to be bugger all. So yeah, and look at this, at a meter, you're only talking like 0.7 watts or something like that. And at 2 meters, you're only talking like 0.3, 0.35 watts. I mean, it's bugger all. So they're never going to get this next generation thing. They're not going to suddenly magically, the Oompa Loompas at the ultrasonic sensor factory aren't going to pump out suddenly twice as efficient transducers. So yeah, it's just not, and they've got no staff to work on it anyway. So sinking Titanic. So that's the best case. So they haven't published sort of this sort of stuff before. And it's interesting to think that they think there's a huge market in this. And based on this is why they make them ellipses like this. Oh, look at the amount of range. It's, you know, it's a psychological trick. Look at the amount of range of market, because really the area on this graph is the market that you can capture. But is that market there? Like, no, right? And there's got tons of impractical stuff in uBeam that they're not factoring in. This is under ideal case with that transmitter, which is not phased array. It's just direct, it's just fixed direction like that, just pumping it out. And yeah, no. Anyway, they have a small niche and they're making it look better than what it actually is. Because look, if you look at the induction over here, right, that's in every mobile phone at the moment, right? That's your Qi charger. That's it. You know, everyone's doing that, right? You can buy a Qi charger for $5 delivered on eBay, and you can charge your phone currently. So anyway, that's an interesting graph. But once again, no efficiency figures. They'll never tell you because that's horrible. And why uBeam? Always on wireless energy unless you need to track the thing, and then no, it's not going to work. Ability to charge devices in distances of 5 meters without wires or batteries. Well, you're going to run into, like, you know, you're down in the tens of milliwatts region or something. You're down in the bugger all. Proven safe, non-invasive technology, not limited by FCC power regulations, but there are regulations for maximum ultrasound energy and things like that. So yeah, they can't do the original 145 dB they claimed. Simple hardware and software solutions, blah, blah, blah. So they claim that they actually have turnkey solutions available that you as a client, a B2B client, can integrate into your products. Whether they do or not, I don't know. Protected by more than 100 patents, which will be able to pick up the intellectual property for a song when they go bust in 6 months. Freeing us all from battery anxiety. Once again, the only battery anxiety we have are notebooks and phones, these higher power devices, which they can't do. They're their own graphs and numbers, and you could have said that 7-8 years ago. Any engineer with half a brain could have seen that, with a focus on critical solutions first, convenience solutions second. So convenience solutions are your consumer stuff, and they know that market is shot, and all they've got is critical. No one's going to use it for anything critical. That's ridiculous. Anyway, there's some niche products out there. Anyway, poor Simon McElray. I feel sorry for him. He's left holding the soggy bag, and he's got to try and promote this. He doesn't sound that enthusiastic about his own tech.
So, for true always-on power,
can you feel the energy?
To charge at distances of up to 5 meters.
Pun intended.
And proven safe. This is the way to do it.
It's the way to do it.
Entering the marketplace this year.
Products entering the marketplace, but so, they haven't named anyone that they've teamed up with. No one's going to bother because they'll just sit back and it's not going to happen.
My 7 minutes is up. Thank you. I will take questions after.
uBeam's 7 years is up. They're gonski. Anyway, enough of poking fun at uBeam. They're pretty much gonski. So if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And as always, you can discuss in the comments down below or over in the EEVblog forum. In particular, the uBeam FAQ thread, which frequently asked questions, which is enormous. It's like 100 pages long. Fantastic bedtime reading. Anyway, I thought we couldn't finish off the video without hearing some words of wisdom from the founder herself, Meredith Perry, because, well, it's just such a fantastic TED Talk, and I challenge you to sit through the whole, like, 15 minutes of it. I'll link it in at the end somewhere here and down below, but take it away, Meredith.
For each technological hurdle deemed insurmountable by the experts, I would spend just a few hours thinking about the problem from a variety of approaches. So I was able to solve problems when the PhD experts couldn't, with just a few hours of really simple research. Every single argument over why the technology couldn't work has been indisputably wrong. This taught me to be skeptical of experts, that expertise represented a narrow way of looking at things. Engineers are inherently linear thinkers and tend to take a very binary approach to solving problems. As a non-expert, I had an advantage because I could look at a problem from different angles because I just didn't know what was possible. By thinking outside the box, by thinking around corners, you can outthink the top thinkers. And now, 8 months later, I have 4 of the top ultrasonic engineers in the world working for me, or working with me. It's going to work, and it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait to give the middle finger and smile to all the engineers that criticize the crap out of me.
Bye, Meredith. This is why uBeam, it will never work or...